there, I have an exciting announcement for you. We are doing a summer book club. I'm Jenny with Kids Learning for Life, and as you may or may not know, I am a book lover, and I also love book podcasts. So I've been wanting to branch out into discussing books in depth here on this channel for a while now. So Stacey and I decided that this summer we're finally gonna do it. The first book we will be doing in our summer book club is Home Education by Charlotte Mason. And this is actually just the first book in her Home Education series, but this summer we will just do Home Education, which is book 1. This book is pretty thick and it consists of 6 parts. So in each episode, we will go in depth on one of these 6 parts. In our first episode, which will be released on Wednesday, June 22nd, we will be discussing the prefaces and part 1, titled Some Preliminary Considerations. And then in each subsequent week, we will go over the next parts of the book until we have gone over all 6. These will be more long-form episodes, so we will be releasing these episodes both on our YouTube channel, so right here, and on our podcast feed, and our podcast is called Learning for Life. At this point in time, the entire reading schedule should be available on our Instagram at Kids Learning for Life, but I will also be sure to post it in the show notes below. Really quick, I want to talk about how you can obtain a copy of this book so that you can follow along with us. This version I got from Living Book Press, which is probably the most beautiful, user-friendly version that I have seen anywhere, so I will be sure to link to this in the show notes below. This is just book 1 of the entirety of Charlotte Mason's Home Education series, and they do have an entire home education bundle at Living Book Press. So I highly recommend that if you are able to budget for it. I also want to mention that there is an alternative for anyone who doesn't really feel like they can commit to reading a book this thick, and that is the modern translation, which is actually available on the AMBLESIDEONLINE website, and it's also available on Amazon. So I will link to that below. That is actually the version that Stacey is going to be reading. This summer book club is particularly exciting for me because I consider myself a Charlotte Mason homeschooler, although I've never read Charlotte Mason's books. So I'm really excited to dive into this series because I feel like it's a reading pilgrimage that I'm meant to make at least once in my life. Stacey hasn't read Home Education either, so I'm excited to hear her thoughts on that. That should be pretty interesting, and she's not even a Charlotte Mason homeschooler. So if you're sitting here and you're intrigued by the idea of reading this book with us, but you're not really interested in Charlotte Mason or you haven't used any of her methods yet, just don't worry, because Stacey will probably be your representative in our book discussion, because she's not a Charlotte Mason homeschooler, nor is she necessarily interested in becoming one. But I do think that this book has a lot to offer to anyone who is educating their kids at home like we all are. We will also be joined by one of our longtime friends and fellow homeschooler, Christine Gustin. She was actually raised being homeschooled, and her mom used the Charlotte Mason method back before the internet, so it probably was a lot of time at the library, a lot of copying pages, a lot of borrowing old books. Christine is actually gravitating towards using the Charlotte Mason herself with her own kids now, so we really wanted to get her insight on this book as well. So be sure to follow us on Instagram at Kids Learning for Life, and check back here on our channel where we will be posting these videos every Wednesday starting June 22nd until we're done with all 6 parts. And also check out our podcast, Learning for Life. All the episodes will be posted both on YouTube and on the podcast feed. We are so excited for all of us together to go through this wonderful book on homeschooling, and I am so excited to hear all of your thoughts as we go along. Like I said, this book is from Living Book Press, and so if you want more ideas on books that Living Book Press offers, I will link to my Living Book Press book haul right over here so that you can see what other books you can check out from them. And don't forget to click our link in the description to go to their website and see what they have to offer. See you next time. Happy homeschooling.